Welcome back to our mid-episode break, namely 90th Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of Season 6 of Rick and Morty, we're looking back at the inspiration of the series, at least the part that released in the 90s, Back to the Future, Part 3. Previously on Back to the Future, Doc Hollywood goes back in time, met his parents, and nearly erased himself from existence before his mom tried to sleep with him. After fixing that problem, he went to the future the next morning when his girlfriend transformed from Linda Barrett from the Fast Times TV series into the girlfriend from the Karate Kid. An old man stole a DeLorean, traveled back in time, and gave himself a sports almanac so he could make money off of sports bets. Upon realizing what happened, Alex P. Keaton and Reverend Jim from Taxi traveled back to 1955 and destroyed the almanac, but also Uncle Fester is hit by lightning in the DeLorean and is sent back to 1885. We open Part 3 with Teen Wolf getting sent back to 1885 because he learns that Judge Doom gets killed a week after he wrote the letter in 1885. Upon arriving, there's some intensive depictions of Native Americans in the Old West who attack the DeLorean and cause the gas lines to get cut, which is on the outside of the car for some reason, and somehow that empties all of the gasoline from the vehicle. Since petrol isn't utilized as a fuel until 1892 and they only have a week to stop Commander Krug from the search from Spock's death at the hands of country western Biff, they decide to hook the DeLorean up to a train and send it across the ravine into 1985, where there's a bridge there to land it on. If that didn't make sense to you, you're not thinking fourth dimensionally. Meanwhile, one who flew over the cuckoo's nest falls in love with a new teacher in town, going south. Things get complicated as per usual. The voice of Stuart Little ends up in a western-style showdown the morning of the day they were going to rob the train to push the DeLorean with, and he ends up beating country western Biff by using the bulletproof cast iron door technique he saw Clint Eastwood use in A Fistful of Dollars in the alternate 1985. That all resolves, and country western Biff ends up in a pile of manure, so they go rob a train and attempt to go back to the future. But first, the mom from Elf rides her horse alongside the train to confess her love for Professor Plum, and they end up flying away on the hoverboard as the voice of Chance from Homeward Bound is sent back to the future by himself. A train then destroys the DeLorean, but then a hover train appears with the boss angel from Angels in the Outfield, his now wife, Ted Danson's wife, and their two kids, who leave Marty forever in 1985 to travel in time. Also, the voice of Milo from Atlantis, the Lost Empire, learned the lesson about not having to prove his worth in a toxic masculine way, or something. And that's Back to the Future Part 3 in Namely 90s Minute. More or less. Thanks for watching, and join us again next Tuesday for another Namely 90s Minute. Remember, you can always hear these a day early in full episodes of Namely 90s on all major podcasting platforms, and most of the small ones too. Please subscribe and do all the other YouTube things, bell ringing, share like a scribes, that sort of stuff, and we'll catch you next time.